Okay, so today we're going to learn about comma splices, fragments, and run-on sentences, but comma splices. No, but Ms. Mack will teach you about splices, I'm sure. So before we move on to a new unit, we have to review what we know. So we need to know what three components make up a complete sentence. Who can tell me what three components are?
A subject, a predicate, and a complete thought.
Yeah, good. Everyone see that right on the top? Right on the top, yeah. Okay, so if we can identify a complete sentence, then we have the skills to take on the next unit. So let's look at the first sentence. Even though it's December, I feel like going for a swim. Does everyone see that?
Yes.
Okay, so both of these examples contain a subject. They both contain a verb, but only one of them contains a complete thought. Do you know which one it is? Which one do you think?
I feel like going for a swim.
Yes. Okay. And then one of the examples is a dependent clause. Which one's the dependent clause?
Even though it's December.
Right. So why is even though it's December the dependent clause?
Because it's not a complete thought.
Right. And then why is I feel like going for a swim an independent clause?
Because it doesn't have a complete thought.
Yes. Okay. So we already obviously know about independent clauses, but we're going to just review it just so we know. Okay, so independent clauses form a complete thought and can stand alone as a sentence. So the first example sentence is, there is no such thing as Sasquatch. Is that a complete, that's a complete thought, right?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, the next one, some people, oh, look, passed too, really official. Some people who spend a lot of time looking for them, but they're wasting their time. So that sentence has, oh yeah, that is an independent clause, because it has some people who are the who, and then they're spending a lot of time looking for them. Okay, so dependent. Do not express a complete thought and can stand alone as a sentence. And do you see the examples for those? Right there, right here. I'm just reading it. Okay. All right, now let's do what? Subordinators. Okay. So who can tell me what happens when you add a subordinator to an independent clause? When a subordinator is added to an independent or complete clause, the meaning is changed, yep, and no longer complete.
Doesn't it kill the sentence?
Mm-hmm. So some subordinating conjunctions are although, though, even though, well, whereas, because, since, if, unless, before, after, when, whenever, until, as soon as. So if we can accurately identify independent clauses and dependent clauses, then we'll be able to find most of the errors in our writing, which is going to bring us into the comma. So flip it over. So I use commas all the time. So this is why I like this unit, because I just learned all about how to use a comma, and I wrote a correct email without a run-on sentence and a comma. So, does everyone know what a comma is? Before we start? Okay. Commas are a relatively weak part of punctuation. So, when used to combine independent clauses, they must be used with what is known as a coordinating conjunction. For, and, nor, but, or, yet. So, what is the abbreviation for those words? Do you remember?
Fan voice.
Yeah, good. Okay, so let's look at that sentence right below it. I hate asparagus, comma, I hate grammar. Who can take a guess on why that sentence wouldn't be good? Why you wouldn't use a comma there?
Because there's none of the coordinating conjunction.
But look at, I hate asparagus. Is that a complete thought?
No.
I hate asparagus?
Yeah.
Yeah. And what about I hate grammar? Is that a complete thought?
Yeah.
So both of those sentences, or both of those sections of words can stand by itself. So what you should do is you should put a fanboy in there. So for example, I hate asparagus, comma, and I hate grammar, as opposed to just the comma. Or you could just add period instead of the comma. But you wouldn't need to put the comma there. So, a comma splice occurs when two independent clauses, complete sentences, are joined with a comma. There are three ways to correct a comma splice. Delete the comma and replace it with a period, a semicolon, or a comma and a conjunction, which is and, but, for the fanboys. So let's see, do you know what a comma semicolon is? Does everyone know what a semicolon is? It's like the dot, the comma underneath it. So you can use that in the place of a comma where a comma shouldn't be. So let's look at the example sentences on our paper. So the first one, complete sentence, comma, complete sentence. I like ice cream, comma, vanilla is my favorite flavor. Who would write a sentence like that? I feel like I would. I would definitely add the comma in there and not think anything of it, because I would feel like that would be a complete thought. Doesn't it seem like it's a complete thought altogether? I like ice cream and vanilla is my favorite flavor, but in fact, it's actually, both of those can stand on its own. So some examples that we can do to correct that sentence is I like ice cream, period. I like ice cream is a complete sentence, and then vanilla is my favorite flavor. That can stand alone. It's a complete sentence. And then the next example, there's what type of punctuation's in the next example? You see it?
Period.
I'm just seeing if you're following along.
Semicolon?
Yeah, good. Okay. So I like ice cream, semicolon, vanilla is my favorite flavor. And then the third option to correct that sentence above is I like ice cream, comma, and vanilla is my favorite flavor. So there's the comma, but we added a subordinator or a fanboy coordinating conjunction in there to make to not have it be a grammar error. Okay. So fragments, incomplete thought, cannot stand alone as a complete sentence. Although fragments can look like complete sentences, fragments are not complete sentences because they lack one of the following, a subject, a verb, or a complete thought. So Mr. Z produced a masterpiece. So Mr. Z is the subject, and then produced is the verb. The fragment, although Mr. Z produced a masterpiece, leaves you